Hey YouTube, this is David, the Georgia photographer, and today we're going to do the backstory on the Georgia photographer. Okay, this story doesn't work unless you have the whole story. The whole story starts with me in high school. Strange as that sounds, I'm going to try to abridge it. I've done filmed this like twice, and I was like, man, this is just dragging on way too long. So, long story short, heavily abridged version. I took machine tool in high school. They had a vocational department with a fully equipped machine shop. That allowed me to basically dip my toes into machine tool work in high school, and I loved it. Then we got done with high school. I went to trade school. At the time it was called Walker Technical School, it was trade school. And I took the tour. They take you on the tour and show you all the classes so you can pick the one you want. And at the time, in the late 80s, electronics had this, computers were getting to be real popular, and VCR TV repair was kind of starting to wane a little bit, but it was still a thing. And it was about to be a big thing to be an electronic technician. They were touting all this money you could make as an ET. So I chased the money. I didn't take machine tool in trade school. I actually took electronics. And I graduated from Walker Tech with a diploma in electronic technology. The odd thing is I'm good at electricity. All right, I can see it. I'm good at troubleshooting. Okay, I can look at electricity and my mind breaks it down to its kind of simplest form, and I can just kind of see where the problem is. And I was just real good at troubleshooting. So I was a natural as an electrician in a maintenance department in a factory. So I got a job right out of trade school doing just that. And I done really well there. Had real good success at it. And it was kind of fun to start with, because you got my first real job. Well, I got another job in another factory, it was GE. And I went to work for them doing the exact same thing. I was a natural at it, of course. I was really good. I was able to maintain uptime really well. And it was at about that time I was starting to just grow weary of doing that day in, day out, and it becoming what I do for the rest of my life. I started to not feel that gratification of the job that I was feeling in the beginning. I was getting burnt out. So I left GE, went on the road, done construction on the road, electrical work. I did electrical work as a journeyman electrician for a few years on the road. And then I just decided I wanted to dabble, and I started dabbling in things. And I built water gardens for a guy that lives right down here in Trenton for almost a year. I did all sorts of stuff. But I went back into industrial electricity because it's an easy thing for me. I make good money at it. And I had just recently married Teresa, and I needed to provide her a stable form of income. So I go back to work at GE, and I get literally my old job back. Second shift. I always enjoyed second shift because it's a lot lower stress level than first shift. You don't have near the management oversight, so it's a lot more relaxed. There's typically a lot less people on site, so the equipment you're working on a lot of times is shut down, so you don't really have that whole maintaining uptime problem that the first shift guys had to deal with. It was just a little more laid back atmosphere. Plus it was easy. Well, it was so easy that I was able to get my job caught up and then go over to the tool and die shop and just hang out. And I made quick friends with the master tool and die makers in the tool and die shop, and I started basically learning how to do advanced machine work from them, because I brought my basic machine knowledge with me from high school, and I didn't lose it. It's just that we never really did advanced stuff. Well, they started teaching me more advanced stuff in the tool and die shop, and it was kind of a win-win. I was able to learn how to do machine work, and they were able to pawn off all of this industrial maintenance machine work that they normally had to do onto me. So it worked out for everybody. So I started doing the parts that they would normally do. It was kind of mutually beneficial. Well, at the same time, in the mornings, since I work second shift, I get off work at about 11:30. I get home about 12:15, 12:30. Would go straight to bed. I get up the next morning at about 7, be on the road by 7:30 or 8, and we'd go to Chattanooga, and I had a little construction business doing just handyman work. It's easy to get into handyman work. Trust me, if you have any skills at all in carpentry, about a $15 ad in the local newspaper and basic carpentry tools, and you'll be as busy as you ever want to be doing handyman work. There's plenty of it. There are people that want it done and can't find anybody to do it. It's there. We started that little business. We was doing it in the mornings. In the family, Teresa is the money manager. Okay, she likes to save. I like to spend. So she manages the finances. She's the smart one when it comes to that. So I told her, I want to open my own machine shop at some point. So she started saving up. Once we bought the house property and got the house on it, and we built the machine shop, then we paid for it. We saved up the money and paid for everything. Okay, so the building was paid for. So then her uncle had a machine shop over here in Flat Rock, Alabama, and he got to the point that he had diabetes, and his foot was giving him so much trouble, he had to shut down his shop. He had to retire. So he closed his doors and offered to sell us basically a entry-level machine shop worth of equipment. You know, there was a drill press and a bandsaw, and the tour of that bandsaw and the little lathe in the back of the shop are the only two pieces left from that original purchase. Actually, we bought the machines first, paid for them, and then he let us store them at his place until we got the building built. I got that backwards, yeah. Once we got the machinery moved in and hooked up and it working, I cut back on the amount of construction work, and I started canvassing for machine work in the mornings instead. And I would go to this machine or this factory in Chattanooga or that one or wherever, and go around hunting work, trying to build relationships for my business. About a year after that got going, the work was so heavy in the machine shop that I was having to sacrifice sleep to get it all done. And I was starting to get reoccurring work, which is where you want to be. You want those reoccurring clients. And I was starting to see that. And I had a few major accounts. I had one with Shaw Industries. And I'm a little one-man band operation with a little bitty machine shop up there on Sand Mountain. And I had an account with Shaw, and I was doing things for them. I don't know what's got him so upset. I think it was 2005. I quit the week before my birthday from GE and went full-time in the machine shop. Immediately turned right around, went back to GE and registered as a contractor. That allowed me back in the building to canvass work. Well, I couldn't find any maintenance work because they have a machine shop over in Lafayette that is right down the street. So I couldn't really break into that market. But what I did find was the engineering department. Engineering does new installation projects, and they have their own budget. And I started doing work up there instead. And it got so busy so fast that I had to start hiring help to get it all done. At about the same time, I got that license to do the silencer thing. Once I got one or two designs where they were actually quiet and the guns were still accurate, I started just taking them with me when I go to like events and we do little demonstrations, you might say, with them. We started doing that, filling in the holes between the industrial jobs with the silencer work. Well, as time went on, the silencers picked up and doubled and tripled and quadrupled sales every year till in 2012 we temporarily shut down the industrial maintenance section and just did the silencers until 2017. Since then, we've opened the industrial side back up, and we want to maintain that diversity now. We don't want to go back to the single income stream idea that we did back then. That's how I ended up with a machine shop. I just saved up, bought part of it, saved up, bought some more of it, worked 2 jobs for literally about 9 years straight without pretty much taking a vacation at all. Just maybe a weekend to Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg or something like that. And then working one job about 60 hours a week for the next 7 or 8 years. And now I'm finally to the point where it's kind of self-driving and we just kind of make sure things go like we want. And I don't do much machine work anymore. I still enjoy it, and I will get out there and I'll get in the way and do some stuff, and the guys will run me out. But it's kind of surreal to be where I am now. It really is. But it's afforded me the time to do YouTube videos, and I really enjoy making videos for YouTube. I don't know what it is about it, but I really enjoy it. I enjoy the community that we're building. It's just a lot of fun. But yeah, that's the history in a nutshell. So if you've suffered through it to this point, appreciate that subscribe. It's right down there. And I'd like a thumbs up if you enjoyed my long-winded diatribe about how I got started in machine work and build a machine shop. So anybody can do it. You just have to be willing to put in the work. So with that, this is David, the Georgia photographer. And until you hear about me next time, get your camera out and go take a picture with it, all right? We'll see you later. Bye-bye.